I first saw Soundgarden in 1996. It was Lollapalooza in 1996. And Metallica headlined the show. Soundgarden played, and Wu-Tang Clan was on the bill, and another band called Psychotica, Screaming Trees, the Ramones, Rancid. It was an awesome show and quite an incredible lineup. And it was the first and only time I saw Soundgarden. And I remember that I would always hear from people that they weren't a good band live. And I don't know where people got this from, because on TV I would see them perform and I didn't think they were that bad at all. But, that was always in the back of my mind before before they actually went on stage. And I saw them at, like I said, Lollapalooza in 1996 at Randall's Island in New York. And Randall's Island is kind of like this stadium. It's a big place, and it just, I haven't been there too many times, but I just remember just concrete. It's like concrete and dirt, and not that much cover from sun, and there were like concrete bleachers there. Like I said, I haven't been there in 20 years, so I don't know what it's like now, but this is my memory of it. So, right before Soundgarden comes on, the crowd's getting ready, and when they come on, they kick into pretty noose, and the song just kicks in right away. And when that song kicked in, the crowd just went nuts, and there were just masses of people on a stadium floor, and I just happened to be in the middle of that mass, and I was being crushed by them, like crushed by throngs of people that I literally couldn't breathe. I didn't have a chance. I couldn't really move, and just so many people were pressing on me. And I was maybe around 20 years old. And I've been in rough crowds before. I in that time, I've seen, a bunch of heavy bands and been in a bunch of mosh pits. But this was different, because I thought I was going to die just being crushed by this crowd. And even though I thought I was going to die, I kept my focus on the band and on the lead singer of that band, Chris Cornell, and just the power of his voice and the power of the music that he wrote. And the show went on, and I think it was in the middle of the show. Like I said, it was a long time ago, but I think it was in the middle of the show, and it's just him and his guitar, and he starts singing Black Hole Sun, just a very quiet version of it. And while the memory of being crushed by that crowd was still in my mind, at that moment, during that quiet, I thought, all right, things are going to be okay. I'm not going to die. And it was such a beautiful song, and the way that he sang it, and that voice of his, from the screams that he was able to do and the wailing that he was able to do, just like a banshee. But then on the other side, just the beauty that he was able to bring out with that voice and that musicianship, and just thinking about how things are going to be okay. And when I saw this 20 years ago, I wasn't in a good place mentally. I just had so many problems and so many troubles and so many things going wrong in my life. But in that moment, I thought things are going to be okay. And from what I remember, the band kicked in later on in the song. So the performance of Black Hole Sun was different on the album, because on the album it's the guitar, bass, and drums throughout the whole song. But this was, he played his guitar, by himself, and then in the middle the band kicked in, which gave the song extra power. And 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 you're gonna hear this a lot through so many tributes. Well, and that's another thing. Let me just say, and I know I'm showing my age, but I remember when Kurt Cobain died, I turned on MTV right away, and there were just news and people were talking and remembering. We watched it on TV live. And while I'm getting the tributes on social media, and I'm reading all these tributes, and I'm reading everybody's memories of Chris Cornell, I don't know, man. It's not the same as just putting on a TV when breaking news happens, and just watching people remember and watching people give their memories live on a TV, not on a phone, not on a laptop, just on a channel. When MTV mattered, that was the channel to go to when something huge happened in music, and something tragic happened in music, so you can process this. So, and we're going to be hearing a lot of tributes and a lot of recordings, but man, there was just something different in real time, experiencing in real time with others. But I guess this is almost as good. So, anyway, I woke up really early this morning, and I usually don't. I woke up a couple hours earlier than I usually do. I think maybe because I slept in a different room in my apartment and the sun was shining through the window, but I got up and I just saw on my phone that he was dead. And it's hitting me a lot harder than I thought this would. So, I don't know. Maybe it's because Chris Cornell was one of the voices of my generation. I'm 40. So I was like 15 when Bad Motorfinger came out, 16 when Bad Motorfinger came out. So I was just at that perfect age, of the Seattle movement. I refuse to call it grunge. I never liked that label, but the Seattle bands, the Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. And out of those 4 bands, 3 of the singers are now dead. It's Cornell, Lane Staley, and Kurt Cobain. So maybe I was just thinking of that, it's just these voices of my generation are dead, and it's way too soon. And his voice, and Chris Cornell's voice, was still so strong, and I'm sure he had a lot more music to give to us, and that's just not gonna happen anymore. And the way his voice held up, man, those songs are hard to sing, and he was still able to do it, and he was still able to just, I know this sound artificial, but like he still looked good. He always, like, I don't have my hair anymore, and he just kept his hair, and he kept his youth, and he stayed in good shape, and more importantly, he kept that voice in shape too. And man, this sucks. This really sucks. So, I just went on an not amazing. I just went on this ridiculous tangent. But back to Lollapalooza, just the way his voice was just able to make you feel like triumphant and enraged and happy and sad and melancholy, and just all these different emotions is the sign of what truly was he truly was a great singer and a great artist. And man, I'm gonna miss him. And and maybe with all these deaths, and Scott Weiland is given an honorable mention as well. It's just like all these voices in my generation are the ones I grew up listening to are dying, and are dying way too soon. And maybe this is why I'm so sad. And with all the shit that's going on in America, and all the crap that's going on in this world, and all the deaths in 2016, and the fucking election in 2016, this is just like another fucking nail on the bummer coffin. And and I'm I may not sound it, but like I I do have hope, and I do think things can change for the better, and I know we have to work at it, and these shitty things are going to come along, and the best thing to do is process and to feel it, and move on, and try to change things for the better. And again, I'm on a ridiculous tangent off of Chris Cornell, but I guess this is how I process things. So, um, rest in peace, Chris Cornell. My condolences to his family, and and fans, and all the people that he's touched and affected in his life. It's an extraordinary life, and not too many people can have the kind of impact he had. And I strive to have some, like, just a tenth of the impact that he's had. And may his memory live on in his music and his voice.